Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the greatest rising podcast in football. My name is Carson, and I am a Battlehawksaholic. But you don't get
My
to
name is
know. No,
Alex.
you don't get to introduce yourself, sir. You are a free agent.
Oh, you're so right. I could just say I'm a free agentaholic, though.
And no, they don't even get to know your names yet.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah,
No name?
no
It's
names.
not like these people. Yeah, clearly these people have never listened to our podcast
They
before.
never have. Yeah,
No,
these are my two
they don't
co-hosts,
know.
Thing One and Thing Two.
I'm
They're
thinking
great.
one to be there.
We got Thing One and Thing Two
Free
here. Free
I'm
agentaholics.
thing one. I'm thing one.
I'm free agent one.
Oh, we're gonna go ahead and roll the intro so that you can find out who my co-hosts are and what their commitments are. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Footballers Anonymous, the greatest rising podcast in football and the only podcast on the internet that covers the UFL. It's true. Trust us. Don't look it up. Coming at you with the start of the United Football League 2026 season. We are so back, ladies and gentlemen.
Baby. Baby.
Well, or maybe I should say,
We're loaded.
I'm still back because my team did make a return this year.
The
These
team
two
from last year doesn't even exist.
I should not be a free agent. My team got robbed.
I've been a free agent since the Stars.
Yeah, Thing One, your team low-key did kind of get nuked, like unjustly.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Like, of all the teams that went, two of them made sense. One of them did not.
No, not at all. But we're here at the start of the UFL season, and you guys, the viewers, whether you've watched the UFL or you haven't watched it before, you're all welcome here because we are going to introduce you to everything you could possibly need to know to start watching the UFL this year. And if you're like these two free agents and looking for a team to watch, we're going to help you make your choice.
Because where else would you go?
Nowhere, because we're the only podcast that covers the UFL.
Exactly.
It's true. Don't look
I'll be
it up.
covering UFL better than the UFL itself.
It's true.
Hey, Carson, since you're the awesome named co-host, what is the UFL?
That's a great question. Unnamed co-host. See, 4 years ago, the USFL was the main source of spring football until 3 years ago when we saw the return of the XFL, the sort of rival league, kind of like how the NFL and the AFL were way back in the day. The two leagues eventually merged to create the UFL, the United Football League, and they had their first combined season 2 years ago. So how it works is it's an 8-team league. It used to be split between two conferences, the USFL, which basically got nuked this year, we'll talk about that later, and the XFL conference. There are 10 regular season weeks during the spring with no bye weeks and 2 semifinal matchups, and then one UFL World Championship. It's a lot of fun. It's a very innovative league where all kinds of new rules are tested out. A lot of crazy ones being introduced this year that we'll talk to you guys about later. But first, we're going to introduce you to all of the teams. So, unnamed co-host number 1, would you like to take us through the first of the 5 old returning teams this year?
Of course you give me this one. Yes, I would love to, because they're my favorite team, the Birmingham Stallions. If you want a little history lesson on the UFL, you got to include this team because they are definitely the most significant I think overall of all the old teams, they're probably the most significant in terms of legacy, considering the fact they were three-peat champions, something the Kansas City Chiefs did not do, and they were the first ever winners of the UFL championship 2 years ago. they were three-peats because they won two USFL championships in a row, the two USFL championships, and then they won the UFL championship. They had never lost a playoff game until this past season when a team that no longer exists beat them in the championship game. They're coached by spring football legend AJ McCarron. What a goat. Their starting quarterback is returning Matt Corral. He's been with them for a couple years, I believe. He was at least with them the last two, I believe.
Yes.
And they went 7-3 last year, and they, yes, lost the USFL championship. Um, so they're coming in from the USFL, and they're actually the only team technically returning from the USFL. There's two brands, but really they're the only team returning from the USFL, which I have thoughts and opinions on, but you don't know my name, so you
Yeah.
won't care yet. You can care when you actually know my name.
True.
Um, hey, co-host number two that's unnamed, would you like to talk about the next team because you love teams from this area?
Of course. So we next have the formerly known Arlington Renegades, now rebranded as the Dallas Renegades. Again, they're formerly the Arlington Renegades. They're coached by former UCLA head coach Rick Neuheisel. I don't know how to say his last name.
It's New
It's
Heisel.
very intimidating to look at. Last year they went 5-5. They missed the playoffs, but this year they're bounced back with not Luis Perez at quarterback, but Chicago Bears legend Austin Reed, who balled out on the Bears during training camp. I saw a lot of his highlights. Actually, he was actually pretty going crazy. So I'm very excited to see what he can do in the UFL.
I'm honestly very surprised it's not Perez.
Yeah, we'll
Honestly,
definitely talk about that.
I was too, but I love Austin Reed.
Up next, I guess it's only fitting since unnamed co-host number one doesn't like the team he introduced. I'm going to talk about my sort of rival team. This is the DC Defenders. They are the current UFL champions. The Defenders. They are coached by the only returning coach in the entire league. Now, well, technically there is one other, but we'll talk about him later. But really, the only returning coach this year and head coach Shannon Harris, who, if you remember last year, there was a whole lot of, there were a bunch of strange things happening in DC. Their head coach stepped down like a few days before the season started. Shannon Harris stepped in as the interim head coach. He then won head coach of the year, brought them to a championship, and he's now returning with them. Their current starting quarterback is quarterback Jordan Ta'amu, who was once part of their rival team way back in 2020. He came up short of UFL MVP and Offensive Player of the Year last year to none other than Bryce Perkins, Michigan Panthers legend. Rest in peace to the Panthers. This DC is famous for being home of the legendary beer snake, which is their greatest tradition. They make a big snake of beer cups. It's pretty cool to see. Last year they went 6-4 and actually won the championship. Now they played in the XFL Conference Championship. They played my team, the St. Louis Battlehawks. They are easily the largest fan base in all of spring football. They are coached by former St. Louis Rams wide receiver Ricky Prohl. He was part of the greatest show on turf. Their current starting quarterback is Brandon Silvers, who is a St. Louis veteran. He's been on the bench for a while, and he's taking a starting role this year. They are the biggest rival of the DC Defenders. They are 2-5 in that matchup. And last year they went 8-2, had the best record in the league, and then lost the XFL championship to the DC Defenders.
Okay. Well, isn't that nice that you could talk about a team?
It is.
We're gonna talk about the last of the returning teams, even though they're kind of cheating a little bit. The last team we're gonna talk about is the Houston Gamblers, which this is a very weird situation because last season they were the Houston Roughnecks. The past two seasons they were the Houston Roughnecks, but they also originated from the USFL's Houston Gamblers anyway. So the Gamblers turned into the Roughnecks, which there was a Houston Roughnecks in the XFL that got just axed. So this is the Houston Gamblers of old, but then they were the Roughnecks, and then they switched them back to the Gamblers because they are very decisive on which branding they want to use. Um, they're coached by former Gamblers USFL coach Kevin Someone. So he's returning after a couple years off. He is their starting quarterback is Donovan Smith from Houston University, and they're home to quarterback Tualia Tagovailoa. So brother of
Yeah, it's
Tua
his brother.
Tagovailoa, and they went 5-5 last year and missed the playoffs. Because two teams in each conference made the playoffs, and they actually got on a little bit of a heater towards the end of the year, but it wasn't enough to make the playoffs.
The Roughnecks were so funny last year. I think almost every week we were kind of like, oh, hey, the Gamblers might do something. And then every time they wouldn't until it was too late.
Yeah.
But we kind of liked the Roughnecks, and they didn't end up doing much.
And as Alex stated, that was the last of the returning teams. So now we have the three brand new teams coming to the UFL, starting with the Columbus Aviators, the nice little baby blue color scheme. They're coached by NFL vet Ted Ginn Jr. Ted Ginn Jr., amazing athlete, most NFL fans know. And their starting quarterback is Jalen McClendon, a former Roughneck.
Yeah, our second team is the Louisville Kings. The Kings are coached by NFL veteran and Louisville College legend Chris Redman, and their starting quarterback is Jason Bean, who many of you might know is from Kansas. He had a great college career, and he's one of the most promising quarterbacks in the league right now.
And the last of the new teams is the Orlando Storm, coached by former St. Louis head coach Anthony Becht, who is technically the other returning coach. And he's made some very definitely good amends with St. Louis, totally. Not anything questionable as he's been leaving. Definitely not.
No.
Oh, and their starting quarterback is Jack Plummer, who is unrelated to Jake Plummer.
Completely unrelated. So those are your 8 teams, and I know a lot of you are wondering, man, I've been listening to these guys for almost 15 minutes now, and I only know one of their names. And more importantly, I only know that one of them is a Battlehawks-aholic. I don't know what kind of aholics the other two are, so I bet you want to know. Well, we'll give you that information right after we break for an ad.
Mayotivations with Will Levis.
We're back, baby. Another episode, another chance for me to emotionally recover from the absolute tragedy that is the Michigan Panthers no longer existing.
Meanwhile, I'm thriving because the UFL lives on, and more importantly, so does the legacy of Philadelphia Stars legend Case Cookus.
Ian has brought up Case Cookus no less than 14 times in the last hour.
And I'll make it 15. Put some respect on his name.
Man, okay, guys, I would simply just like a moment of silence for the Panthers.
You've had several. We had to start recording.
The UFL is here. It's beautiful, it's chaotic, and it's exactly what football in the spring should be.
It would be more beautiful, though, if a certain team from Michigan still existed, but sure, go off.
Alex has been in the bargaining stage of grief for like 3 weeks now.
I'm not bargaining. I'm just saying. Hypothetically, if the Panthers came back, I'd be okay again.
Hypothetically, if Case Cook is suited up tomorrow, he'd throw for 350 and 3 touchdowns. Easily.
Ian is living in a fan fiction at this point.
Carson, it's called a vision.
Your vision doesn't bring back my Michigan Panthers.
And on that uplifting note...
All right, quick timeout. I'll stop my shenanigans for a second. This episode is brought to you by the absolute drip factory that is footballanonymous-shop.fourthwall.com.
That's right. If your wardrobe is looking like a 3 and out, it's time to upgrade. Head over to footballanonymous-shop.fourthwall.com. Yes, I'll say it again. footballanonymous-shop.fourthwall.com. And browse what can only be described as an embarrassment of riches.
We're talking shirts, hoodies, hats, probably things you didn't even know you needed until right now. It's like a deep playoff roster, but for your closet.
And let's not forget, this is the only place worthy of fans of the GOAT Mitchell David Trubisky.
The man, the myth, the MVP.
If you're not repping gear that at least spiritually honors Mitchell David Trubisky, what are you even doing?
Honestly, man, your closet deserves better. Your friends deserve better. Society deserves better. Mitchell David Trubisky deserves better.
So do yourself a favor. Go to footballersanonymous-shop.fourthwall.com right now.
That's footballersanonymous-shop.fourthwall.com. Stock up because they've got a ton of merch.
Like a suspicious amount of merch. It's weird.
It's almost concerning.
But in a good way.
Again, that's footballersanonymous-shop.fourthwall.com. Get the gear, become elite.
Or at least look like it.
Which, let's be honest, is half the battle. All right, that's going to do it for us today.
Make sure you hit, wait for it, footballersanonymous-shop.fourthwall.com one more time.
Please. I need you to buy enough merch to emotionally support me through the loss of the Panthers.
That's not how that works.
It could be.
It should be.
Anyway, like, subscribe, do all the things.
And remember, dress like a champion even if your team isn't.
Pain.
We'll see you guys next time.
And just to be absolutely clear,
This ad read was not made by AI.
Definitely not. 100% human, no robots. None.
zero artificial intelligence, just real emotional damage and great merch.
May your game day be delicious.
Wow. Thank you for that amazing ad read, guys. I'm so glad we definitely didn't reveal your names in the ad because we have to reveal your names and teams now. So I think we should go in reverse order though. Thing 2, you are officially on the clock to make your selection.
The pick is in. Zero hesitation. My name is Ian, and I am officially a Dallas Renegades-aholic.
Hey!
Oh, jeez.
I'm strictly doing this for Austin Reed, Chicago Bears legend. I am so happy to see him fall out and succeed.
Thing 1, you are on the clock.
The pick's in. I'm kind of just like, because I don't like DC, I'm going with the next most local team. I'm Alex, and I'm a Kingsaholic.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. I didn't expect
you.
that.
I was not expecting
I
it.
didn't either. I just,
I see you.
it feels right. I don't know.
Hey,
Okay.
I see you. I like the Kings. They sold out their home opener. It was a good game to watch. So,
Oh, yeah, I think they can be long term.
now for those of you watching, you are now on the clock. Pick your team. And you better let us know in the comments section. Or if you're listening in a podcast, there's not really comments. So write a review. Give us 5 stars and just say what your team is.
Let us know what you footballers select.
Oh, we're not
That's
big.
a segment. And that's a segment reference.
Those who know. And now that you have your team, you got to understand how the UFL works because the UFL is very different than the NFL. It is a different viewing experience. There's a lot going on, and we had a lot of rule changes this year, so we're going to kind of break down how the UFL works. So we'll kind of alternate. I'll start off with some of the big changes being made to the UFL this year. To start off, we touched on it earlier, there are no more conferences. The UFL will no longer be divided into the XFL and the USFL, which kind of makes sense considering there is only one team left from the USFL. Well, technically 2 because the Renegades, or because the Gamblers, but not the Gamblers because the Roughnecks. You get the point. And now it'll just be the straight top 4 teams who will advance to the playoff. The 1 seed hosting the 4 seed, the 2 seed hosting the 3 seed, obviously.
And this was probably adopted because most of the USFL teams got axed. And
Yeah.
there really wasn't a USFL conference to be had. Good job, UFL. We know which league you like better, even though you like the wrong one better. Anyway,
Yep.
they've also adopted the 4-point field goal, which I think is actually a really interesting rule. Any successful field goal kick from 60 yards or further will be worth 4 points. I actually think that's a great rule.
I love that rule. For a
I think it's
league
great.
where they're known for their kickers going to the NFL, I think giving them a chance to shine, it's awesome. Love the 4-point.
I agree.
Next up, there's a pretty big rule change coming from last year. As everyone knows, in NFL play, it requires 2 feet down in order for it to be a catch. You need both feet in bounds. In college football, you only need 1 foot in bounds. Previously, the UFL was 2 feet, but now they are changing into a 1 foot inbound for a legal catch, adopting the NCAA rules to increase passing and scoring and potentially enhance player safety. I could talk about this topic for so long. I hate this. I despise 1 foot inbound. I despise that rule. Never practice 1 foot inbounds. I've always practiced 2 because practicing 1 is just BS to me. I get that at college and high school, it makes it easier for you to make big plays. But in the NFL, it's 2 for a reason. That's big boy. That's how you catch a football. 2 feet down. Like, I'm so tired of seeing all these impressive 1 foot inbound catches when the guy's just squatting just because his feet aren't on the ground. It's just, I don't like it at all. I hate every single time someone's praising a catch and then there's 1 foot in bounds. And that's the reason they catch. Like, one hand catch on the sideline with a 1 foot down toe tap, that's chill. That's whatever. It's just the bad ones where the guy like literally lunging and catching with his body too. So this is why I love a 2 feet in bounds because it requires people to stretch out and like get their hands out there and really extend for the play. 1 foot in bounds just ruins that. So I'm personally not a big fan of this rule at all, and I'm very upset that the UFL is doing this.
It's a big change. I like it in college football. I like it in high school. In the NFL, it needs to be 2 feet. And I kind of think the UFL should treat themselves as closer to the professional league than they do sometimes. So I kind of agree with Ian. To slightly a less passionate extent because I'm not a receiver. But I think it should absolutely be 2 feet. But I mean, maybe we'll see some cool stuff happen. I don't know. We're only 1 week in. We'll find out. A slightly smaller but just as important change is the UFL is reinstituting the rule of half the distance to the goal for penalties committed in the red zone, which does bring it back to the way it is in the NFL, which is good. We like that.
Something that is not like the NFL is the fact that they are eliminating the tush push entirely from play, which is something that some NFL teams wanted but didn't get past this year, obviously. Your opinion on for the NFL, whether you like it or not, it almost got voted on. And the UFL has decided to eliminate it entirely, which, if you don't know what the tush push is, it's basically an advanced QB sneak where the quarterback snaps the ball, drives forward as the offensive line is driving forward, and is assisted by additional players pushing him in his tush and pushing him through. Basically, it's a tush push is a QB sneak with more juice, and they're taking that out.
I think it's silly, to be honest with you. Another new rule. There will no longer be punting allowed inside the 50-yard line. So in opposing territory, you will no longer be allowed to punt. They will not be allowed from anywhere in that area, and it does not apply after the 2-minute warning of either half. So, beginning of the game, 4th and 10, and the opponent's 35, you have to go for it. They're not allowed to punt, or you guys have to kick a field goal, or just go for it. And I think this is a reason why they decided to instate the 60-yard field goal rule to try to encourage more field goals in this area and encourage less punts. They want more 4-point tries. And this is just meant to change the tempo of the game, add more offense to the game. Basically, get cut down on special teams, which is something UFL really feels to do a lot. And then, and the 2-minute warning, you will be allowed to punt from anywhere in that zone if you need to. So end of the second quarter, end of the fourth quarter.
So one change they're making that I think is really interesting is they're doing a complete overhaul of how overtime works. It's a little more similar to the way they do it in college, but it's still pretty different. Each team is going to get 3 attempts. They will alternate attempts from the 5-yard line. If after 3 attempts, it's like a 2-point try is what this attempt is. If after 3 attempts for each team, the tie has not been broken, the teams will just start alternating until there's a winner. The home team will have the choice to go on offense or defense first, and a coin toss will be implemented in lieu of a home team choice. So it's pretty similar to the way they do it in college. Obviously a little different because each team is guaranteed the 3 tries, which is kind of like a penalty shot in soccer, kind of. It's weird, but I like it. I think it's cool. I love how college overtime works. I think it's better than the NFL, if I'm being honest. I think it's more exciting. I think it's more fair. It's awesome. So this is interesting. I don't know if I like it as much as I like the college model, but I think it'll be cool. Hopefully we see some overtime games this year.
And they are changing their point after system because before they did not have an extra point kick. Last year they removed it in favor of, I believe it was a 1 point conversion for at the 1 yard line. Now a 1 point conversion is like the NFL, it's a 33-yard field goal. 2 point conversions, ball placed at the 2 yard line, like the NFL, but they also have a 3 point conversion, which is different from the NFL, and that puts the ball at the 8 yard line, and that can lead to some very interesting games down the stretch.
Yeah, all very interesting. The
Yeah,
one
so if
thing,
you're down 9, that's a one-score game.
the one thing I don't like about the UFL, and it's purely just a me thing, but I feel like you two will agree, is sometimes you look at the score and it just looks gross. It's like
Yep.
9 to 15 or something like that, and it's just
It's always it's always low scoring and odd scoring.
mhm.
Always. Like anything above 20 in the UFL is considered like I would compare 20-point games in the UFL to like 40-point games in the NFL and 30-point games in the UFL to like 60-point games in the NFL.
I feel like we had
30-point games
I
in
feel like we had a decent number go past 20 last year. I don't feel like that was that uncommon.
I will say it's like the NFL 30 then, but like
It's fair.
30 points in the UFL is like at least 50 in the NFL. It's big. 30 points is big for a UFL team.
It is. So those are all the rule changes. They're pretty cool. It makes the UFL kind of interesting to watch. And the interesting thing is a lot of the rules you see, obviously not all of them. The NFL will never adopt a 4-point field goal. That's absurd. But there are a lot of changes that the UFL makes, and if they're proven to work, they move to the NFL. Pretty much all of the NFL's kickoff changes and those things, those were essentially done by the UFL first. And once they were proven effective, the NFL adopted them and made some of their own slight tweaks based off of talent and things like that. So it's a really cool experience, even if you aren't as attached to your team as you are to the NFL, which I think it's fair to say none of us are as attached to a UFL team as we are to our NFL teams. But if you love the
Ever
game,
Philadelphia Stars.
case cookies. But if you love the game, it's a super cool watch. They're just super innovative with everything they do. It's a great viewing experience.
It would be a better viewing experience, isn't it?
Yes,
The
Alex.
Panthers.
If they had the Philadelphia Stars.
And the Philadelphia Stars.
Case cookers. We need that Stars versus Panthers game again.
Oh,
Those games were lit, and you and I both know it.
yes,
this
we
point-
do. We love them.
At this point, I feel like I have to bring it up. I really miss the Sea Dragons. I was never a fan of them. I just liked them.
Hmm?
Rest in peace,
I
all
think
the
they were
old
great.
spring teams.
Let's see. We got the New York/Orlando Guardians. We got the Sea Dragons. Got the Panthers. We got the Stars. We got the Pittsburgh Maulers. The New Orleans Breakers. We got the Memphis Showboats. The Boats. Got the San Antonio
Nope, the
UFL team.
You mean the 8th UFL team?
The 8th UFL team. We got
No
the 8th
longer.
UFL team as I name it as the 8th. The Tampa Bay Bandits. That's 9.
Ooh, there's no way you're gonna think of them all. There's so many.
No, I could think of all the 2020 and later ones. Los Angeles Wildcats. That was a 2020 exclusive.
Exclusive, he says.
They were only a thing in the 2020 season. The Vipers. The Vipers, I believe they were in Tampa Bay. One of their 2 stints were in Tampa Bay. The other was in Vegas. I don't remember which order it is.
Vegas was last.
Vegas was last. Okay. The Vegas Vipers. The Houston Roughnecks.
Yo, shout out PJ Walker.
Literally. I don't know how many I'm supposed to be naming, so this is tough, but I think I'm close. The New Jersey Generals
Yes, the New Jersey Generals. What a pull. What a pull.
and
8-1, man.
I think they were 9-1, yeah. And then lost to the Stars.
Yup. Yup.
Who was the other West team? Oh, never mind. It was the Gamblers, and they're a thing again. So I'm I'm thinking about the XFL, but I might have got them all.
I think you did too.
Anyway, I named all the teams. What were we talking about again?
Well, we were about to move on to talking about what happened week 1.
Oh, right. Yeah, so I talked about all the past teams before we talked about what actually happened this week. I guess I'll start with the first game, even though I wasn't really too tuned into the games. But the first game was the Kings losing to the Stallions 15-13, a close game. Um, I heard it like really came down to the wire.
This
So
game was cool, yeah. So the Kings play in a pretty small stadium. I don't remember what it's called. It's got like a capacity of no more than like 15,000, but they
yeah,
sold it out and then some. So it was a cool environment because I mean you had people went there and stood for the whole game because they really wanted to go see this game, which was awesome. Um, and then
yeah.
obviously you had the Kings. They sold out their stadium, and then you put the historic Stallions in there with AJ McCarron, who I love AJ McCarron as a coach. It's so cool. It is so cool to see. I mean, he really
Oh,
coached the
yeah.
crap out of these guys. It was a fun game. Big win for the Stallions, but honestly, I think the Kings, a lot of these week 1 games, I watched almost all of them all the way through, and the only one I didn't, I watched the full highlight reel of. A lot of these, the offenses were just, it was stupid week 1 mistakes. The Kings,
Oh
it
yeah.
was just dropped pass after drop pass, which needs to get fixed. Like, because low key, Bean was kind of throwing them out there. Like, Jason Bean was making some good passes, and they were just getting dropped. But I think if they can clean that up, I genuinely think the Kings will be really good this year. But then on Saturday, the Defenders and the Battlehawks played. Now, this game I was obviously really tuned in for, and the everyone just kind of assumed that the Defenders would win. It was pretty because the UFL does this cool thing where they like break down the betting odds of just about every game, which is a lot of fun because obviously they don't care about gambling unlike the NFL. So I've learned a lot about how sports betting works and betting odds just from the UFL. But pretty much everyone had the Defenders favored to win by a lot. And so the Battlehawks came out at home in their home opener, big rivalry game, and sacked Jordan Ta'amu 7 times and won 10-16. So low key, it was a great game. And they were without Hakeem Butler this game too, who Hakeem Butler, legendary spring football player, wide receiver, been with St. Louis for so long. They were without him. Brandon Silvers struggled a lot. Similar things to the Kings, dropped passes, week 1 mistakes that shouldn't really be happening. But they pulled through, and it was a great game to watch. However, it was widely overshadowed by what we saw in Dallas after that crazy game.
Yep. Here we had a battle for Texas with the Houston Gamblers taking on the Arlington Renegades, my new team. And this is one of the reasons why I love Austin Reed. He came out, went 26 for 40 for 376 yards, a UFL record, and 3 touchdowns. So now not only are people thinking this Austin Reed guy is a franchise quarterback. QB4 in Chicago, and the Ben Johnson scheme going to the UFL and immediately dicing up. What do they do with Luis Perez? Do they trade him? They have to get some value out of him. That some teams would love him. He's considered the spring football goat to a lot of people. So a lot of things could be happening in the next couple of weeks. But I'm very excited for the Renegades. I'm very excited for Austin Reed.
Man, I mean, to pull up week 1 and say, yeah, no, we're not starting Luis Perez is crazy. And they just kind of did this. Like, no one really knew what was happening. I turned on the game and just saw that Luis Perez wasn't playing. I didn't know
I just want to throw
why.
it out there. They didn't even tell us that this was happening, and we're
Yeah.
the only UFL podcast.
Yeah, they didn't even tell us. It just kind of happened. And they went and balled out. It was crazy.
And for the record, too, the Renegades won 36-17. And like I was saying, a 30 bomb, and the UFL is basically a 50 bomb in the NFL. It's a big deal.
It was outrageous. This game was crazy. I genuinely, I mean, we've never seen much trading happen in the UFL. It does exist. And I would, if I'm a UFL team, I'm not going to lie, I almost want the Battlehawks to look into Perez. No hate to Brandon Silvers. But, I mean, it's Luis Perez. Like, this guy,
Oh yeah,
last year, he was probably a top 3 quarterback in the league. I don't think that's
he was
crazy
the
to
top three
say.
quarterback in the league. It was Tamu, it was Perkins, and it was Perez. I
Yeah.
don't like. I know St. Louis had some guys, but like
Shout out
no
Manny
Perez was
Wilkins
involved.
looking like an MVP for 3 weeks. Oh,
And then he
man.
got injured.
Oh, man. Not that Duggan was also really good, but I think I would put Perez above him. But, regardless, like,
Sure.
I think almost every UFL team would be stupid to not look into Luis Perez. I don't think there's many, maybe short of the Stallions with Matt Corral. I think he's a solidified starter. I think everybody could do to look into this. Crazy for Austin
Oh,
Reed.
and the defenders were Tamu.
Oh, well, yeah, and the defenders to Amu, who
But
also looked really bad this week.
if I were a UFL team, no matter who my quarterback was, I'd be looking into Case Cookus.
True. Ball
That's
knowledge.
who I'd rank if I was a UFL coach, UFL GM. I'm looking straight at Case Cookus, getting him on the line.
So, Luis Perez, low-key, maybe seeing another team soon. We don't know. I don't really know how trading works, again.
We'll see the Philadelphia Stars come back, and Ian will be the first coach.
And I'll be receiver one on that team, bud.
Yes,
Mm.
sir.
Personally going to enlist Case Cookus.
Well, you low-key won't be receiver because it'll take them like 40 years to actually reinstate the Philadelphia Stars.
So I'll only be 23. You think I'm like what?
40.
Oh, 40. Yeah, I'll be coach.
No, I'll only be 23 in 40 years.
Wait.
Yeah, but I differently.
Negative 17 looking guy over here.
Yeah, I guess. Our last game was on Sunday Night Football. It was the Aviators versus the Storm, which was also a really good watch. And I only watched the highlights. But whoa. I mean,
The Aviators kind of flew in there, and then they kind of ran into a storm and lost.
Jack Plummer looked real good. Not to be confused with Jake Plummer.
No.
But he looked really good. And the Storm might be a team to watch this year. Actually, you know what? Just for kicks, I'm going to call it right here. I'm going to call it. I can name the 4 playoff teams right now.
Oh, really?
I can. It's going to be the Renegades, the Battlehawks, the Stallions, and see, now you've got an interesting battle between the Kings, the Defenders, and the Storm. And right now, I'm low-key taking the Storm. It's the 4th team. After week 1, just after week 1, I'm putting the Storm in that 4th spot.
I have a hot take
What's
that
the hot
Carson's
take?
not going to like.
Go for it.
We should all make our picks now to see who's the most correct. Might as well. Give me the Defenders, the Stallions, the Kings, and the Renegades.
I'm taking the Renegades. I'm taking the Stallions. I'll take the Battlehawks. And you know what? Let's send the Aviators on a late run.
Hey, okay. Dang. I mean, this conversation's gonna go great because we have some good matchups this week for our footballer select. But we can't get into that yet because taking a break from some UFL stuff, we have the return of one of the best after hours segments ever. I'm so excited. Ian, you want to run us through what we're going into next?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my personal favorite Footballers Anonymous segment. The return of quick picks
Bang.
are back.
We're so back.
Our
I'm
fast
so
drafts.
excited.
All right, for those of you who don't remember the rules, our quick pick segment, it's very simple. We take turns drafting items of drafting and literally anything in a 5-round draft in which we each get 5 picks. Or we a 3-round draft in which we each get 5 picks. Last year we did a lot of really fun topics. We opened the year with cereals, which was elite. We did the famous cheese draft, one of my favorites. The old the minor football league teams, a lot of personal favorites last year. And this year we're going to be opening up with our chips draft. A couple of rules real quick. We are each allowed to take one flavor of any chip, but once we take that one flavor of that chip, we're not allowed another flavor of that chip. For example, if I draft Doritos nacho cheese, I cannot take Cool Ranch. But if I take nacho cheese, then Carson or Alex can take Cool Ranch. It's very, very simple, really. And then, of course, our favorite part of the segment is listening to your draft suggestions. Just go give us random things to draft. We will draft literally anything that you guys suggest. We're here for the fans of this one. This is my favorite segment. We love this segment. So, first round, first pick, number one overall pick of the draft. I'm going to be taking the first pick this week. It's going to be me, then Carson, and Alex. I'm going to step in with one of my all-time favorite chips. We have the Doritos Sweet Spicy Chili, aka the purple bag.
Ooh.
This is my number one pick. This is my favorite Dorito of all time. I love this chip so much. Perfect sweet, perfect spicy, great taste. It's amazing. And the purple bag, very fancy.
Oh man, scared me. I was worried he was going to take my first rounder because my first round pick, the number 2 overall pick, I am taking it Doritos Cool Ranch. Give me those blue Doritos.
I figure that was coming in there. I was honestly surprised that Ian didn't go with that, but I mean, that's still a respectable pick.
For me,
I got real
hey,
scared.
for me, Cool Ranch, he's really a hit or miss type of guy. Really hit or miss player for me. Sometimes he can step out on that field, knock him dead. Sometimes you're craving a vintage Cool Ranch, and sometimes he steps out and it just doesn't do it. Just doesn't hit the spot. So I had to go with the 100% win rate guy in my opinion.
My first pick is honestly such a sleeper pick. I love this chip so much, and it was honestly, I love it so much now, and like especially as a kid, it was such a good chip. It was the best chip when I was a kid. I don't even care what anyone else says. With my first pick, I don't even care. I'm taking the cheddar sun chip.
Whoa!
Yeah, I don't even care. I think it is top tier. I don't even care.
Okay.
I think it might be considered a reach, but I really don't think so.
Real quick, that's a very important pick right there from Alex. He's the only coach who did not dip into the Doritos division in the first round.
It's bold.
I strategically did that because now I can just get a Dorito later.
And now, Alex, you're back on the clock. For those who don't know, we
Yeah,
do it.
this is a tough decision here. We got a lot of players from the Pringles division, a lot of players from the Lay's division. Obviously, Frito-Lay has all these different chips that you're kind of like, you can pull out of so many different departments here. But I think when it's all said and done, I think there's a Lay's flavor I like a little more than this one, but I think the Lay's sour cream and onion is too iconic not to take.
And that's a bold claim. That's a bold pick from Alex there.
Yeah. Oh man.
First, like
I know
maybe
salt and
onion.
vinegar fans are going to be talking, but that chip is not it.
Hey, you're getting salt and vinegar. You're getting buffalo. You're getting barbecue. You're getting original. Sour cream and onion is a bold statement for the first team out of the Lay's division.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Man, see, I sit here, I have a lot of options, and we've had a lot of issues here before where I think that I can get someone later, but it's one of those things where it's like, but do I believe it feels wrong to not take them early? Even though I think I'm probably the only one who sees the talent to be taken this high, and I could take him lower. Do I take him this high purely out of respect? And I want to. I'm going to take a gamble here. I'm going to wait a little bit. And I'm going to we're going to go pretty basic. Actually, you know what? No, we're going to dip into the Lay's. We're going to dip into the Lay's division. We are going to take Lay's Classic. Just going to take the Classic.
That makes me so happy.
We're taking Classic. I have to. This guy, he deserves it. He's go-to. Always good.
Oh, I'm kind of thinking the same thing here right now as Carson. Is this a guy that I can let fall? Or is this a guy who I have to give this spot to out of pure respect? And you know what? I'm going pure respect. I almost wanted to take this guy number 1. My favorite chip of all time. The Zapp's Voodoo. Oh my gosh. For those who don't know, this is one of the most elite chips of all time. This is my favorite chip of all time. And this is definitely a reach, but I got to give it out of pure respect because I love this chip. This chip has gotten me through so many rough times. This is my favorite chip ever. And I'm going to give an honorable mention to Zap's Voodoo Heat, an elite off the ball player. Love him too.
High key, this is like when I took IBC root beer with like the second pick in the draft. Like you can't not like.
Hey,
You didn't get a root beer. I did.
he
Did
did.
you?
You regretted not picking him because I snagged him in the third round. And then my third pick, I've got a lot of guys left that I love to pick up here. I know I've got a Lays locked up in a later round if I need it as a failsafe. So right here, I'm going to be dipping into the can. I'm dipping into the Pringles division and grabbing one of my all-time favorite chips ever as well, Pringles barbecue.
Oh no!
Oh,
Oh
the
no!
best, the best chip.
Oh,
I have
oh
consumed cans of
no!
those in single sittings. Those are the best Pringles ever made.
Oh, that hurts.
Steal in the third round for me. Feels like a steal in the third round. And
Oh,
I'm sitting here, I'm looking at all of our teams right now. I'm seeing three very different play styles going. I'm seeing me, I'm going with the bold, the big flavors. I'm going with the purple design. I'm going all in. Carson sent back. He sent with the classics, the OGs, the original chips for real. And then you got Alex, he's playing in the more oh, what is it? Just like soothing division. Like he's getting the calm, relaxing flavors with the bright colors. We're getting three distinct teams going here, and I'm loving it every second.
I'm about to take a swing here. This guy, listen, if you've ever lived with me, you know that when there's Tostitos in the house, they're gone because of me. They are gone. It's just fact. I will devour a bag. Yes, sir. Ian, would you please hold that out for me?
I know
Loud
he's
and
doing
proud. Because I am taking I'm not going to say it, the goat of chips. And I wanted to take him earlier, but I didn't. The greatest chip to ever chip. The Tostitos hint of lime in the third round, steal of the draft. Boom!
I love this pick. I love this pick.
Yes, sir.
It was vanilla Coke that I did with, not ABC root beer. That's what it was.
Boom.
I knew I did something with the sodas. Anyway, yes. All right.
Amazing pick from the Carson Andrew Baird right there.
Boom.
Okay. I feel like it's wrong to not take a Doritos. Obviously, I'm taking it later just so I can get my guys, but like because I've guaranteed the pick anyway. But I'm gonna take the Dorito nacho cheese. I feel like there's no reason for me not to. I have to. It's a great player. I mean, say what you want, but he definitely competes with the other two Doritos. Those three Doritos are all right up here. They could have all been taken in the first round, and he's only signed in the third round just because of strategic reasons. But with my fourth pick, and this is tough because you can go again. I can go a lot of different ways with this. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Honestly, this is a very controversial chip, but I really don't care. I'm going in the Pringles department. I'm taking the pizza Pringle.
Whoa.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Ooh, I think you reached there.
Definitely a reach, but hey, he's a solid player that just brings some stats to the locker room. That's really what happened to Pizza's career. He
Yeah.
really just into the Pringles division. He just was a really cocky dude. He didn't really give people a lot of respect, so he just got a little bit of an attitude, and that's why he dropped so much. But
Yeah, but like at the same time, it is the fourth round. Like it's my fourth player. Like he is a stats player, and like getting him in the fourth round is still a solid bet. Like he's at least gonna put up the numbers. And I
think
feel like
there's-
my team.
I feel like there's too many staples here to go not take.
No, these are chips, Carson. They're not staples.
You're so right. All right, with my pick here, I'm surprised no one's reached here. I don't think they're the best chip overall, but they're versatile. They're great by themselves, but these guys shine when you put them in the right situation. They are skill position players, right? These are your long snappers, okay? But man, when I'm sitting there with the bowl of chili, there is nothing more in the world that I want than classic Fritos.
I
Classic
hate this
Fritos.
pick. I hate this pick.
Oh, so good.
Pick.
So
Horrendous
good.
pick.
I mean, they're fine, but like Fritos do not go with like they're not a team player either. And you just
Fritos-
got on me for picking pizza Pringle, and you're gonna take the Frito.
At least the
Classic
Frito is
Frito.
good.
Classic Fritos not only aren't a team guy, they're really not a solo guy either.
That's
No, they're
crazy.
not.
Like,
That's crazy.
You only get Frito Classics thrive on the variety packs. Fritos thrive on the variety packs where it's you have to pick them. You don't have a choice.
Fritos are the last thing I'm taking out of the bag. Besides, okay, I took Cheetos after Fritos, but
Half
I'm
the
weird.
time I'm throwing them away. Half the time I'm throwing them
That's
away.
crazy. You put that with a bowl of chili, it is unmatched.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Now,
but you missed. We don't have chili on our rosters.
I know it's a skill. It's a skill player. I still love them by themselves. It's a great fourth round pick, and he deserves some respect.
well, Carson has said his case. Now we're moving on to my
He did
fourth
not
pick.
do this.
This is really my last pick here because my fifth pick has already been decided. And I have a lot of guys I want to take here. But for me, hold on. Yeah, there's one guy I really want to take here. An OG of my childhood, dipping into the Lay's division. My turn. I am going with the iconic Lay's dill pickle. Oh,
No,
I love these chips.
no,
Mash these
This is
oh,
his
chips.
fourth round.
oh
Mash
no,
these. They're
oh
so good.
no.
How did I win the fourth round? What are we?
You
I
didn't
consumed
win the fourth
bags of
round.
these. I consumed bags of these. These were so peak.
Oh,
Dude, I was like back and forth between barbecue and sour cream and onion, and frankly, I like barbecue a little more. I'm shocked Lay's barbecue didn't go off the board. That's
I
ridiculous.
am baffled.
was.
I was waiting for Lay's barbecue to come off. Wow.
I am sorry, Lay's barbecue. You could be our sixth
Only
man.
the honorable mentions.
Oh man.
But now, for my last pick in the draft, there's one thing, if there's one thing from this division that could beat the hint of line, and these guys might throw a flag on this play, but as I reach my hand up to the cabinet in my desk,
Oh
I
no.
pull out the Tostitos Chicago Bears.
No.
No, I'm not
The
gonna throw a flag on that because I have a crazier fifth round.
That's
unsealed,
valid.
the unopened Chicago Bears Tostitos.
Oh no. Oh, that
The
is
only-
You had
elite.
that.
The only contender to the hint of line.
See, here's the thing. The thing that makes those great is that they are sealed and unopened. They're peak. They are the most peak chip. Honestly, they're probably the best chip. The Chicago Bears chip specifically.
Had
But
like Italian beef nachos on the back, by the way. Bears logo.
you can't eat them. So I'm still happy with hint of line. But man, after
I still love the hint of lime. The hint of lime is
Oh.
iconic.
Ian, I just want to say thank you for that pick after what quite possibly might be the most disgusting round of any draft we've ever done. I thought the
Don't worry, guys.
Fritos was a bit of a reach, but I like it with my chili. But with Pringles, with pizza Pringles and dill pickle Lays, may go down as one of the worst draft rounds we've ever done. That is disgustingly bad.
Well, now we're hitting with
And-
fifth round gems. So Carson saved the fifth.
Here's the thing. There's so many guys. And I'm really struggling right now. I could take a more controversial one, but there are so many just staples that haven't gone off the board that I really thought would, and I'm kind of struggling with it right now. I want to dip into the Sun Chips division, but I don't think I'm going to. This is tough. This is really tough. All right. I just want to say, there's one guy here who, if you're not drafted, you are my first UDFA, and I will give you a shout out. The problem is you're just a little controversial.
Old honorable
I'm not.
mentions.
No. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying who it is. I'm just saying.
All of them to the end.
I'm not saying who it is. Don't worry. I'm not saying who it is.
There's a twist today.
Oh, okay. There's a twist
Ooh.
today. Listen, the problem here is I've got two guys on the board. One of them, I think I might like a little better. But you're a little controversial. Some people really like you, some people don't. And I've kind of I took a swing with the Fritos, and I'm still happy with, but I gotta secure a solid guy. And this guy, there's nothing really special. He's just all around a great player. You love him. He goes with just about everything. If I'm having a barbecue, I grab a nice big bag of these. They're delicious. We're going from the Ruffles division We're taking the cheddar Ruffles.
Yes. Yes.
Just all
Elite
around
pick.
great guy. Just
Elite pick,
great
elite
for
pick.
everything.
And now, Alex Joseph, would you like to present our Chips 2026 Chips draft, Mr. Arella Chip?
Dude, y'all might get me on this one. I don't know if this one's gonna count, but I might have the steal of the draft if you let me count it in. Ladies and gentlemen, your Arella chip in our 2026 first quick picks of the season. Give
Guys,
me
Yes.
Chips Ahoy.
No,
No.
it doesn't.
No. That's
No, it has
that's
chip in it.
No.
no.
The cookie. Get out of here.
Get out of
What's
here.
that?
That is not a chip.
Get out of here.
That is
Flag on
not
the
a
play.
chip. Get out of
Alex-
here.
Alex is forfeiting his final pick in the draft.
I have an actual final pick.
All right, it better be real this time. That's
I figured it was
ridiculous.
gonna be better. No, I'm
It's
actually
insane.
honestly, I'm gonna take something that I take over Lay's original any day of the week. I'm taking the Utz Ripples.
That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, they're literally better than the original Lay's. It's not even close.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that there is your wait a minute. Something's different this year. Something's changed. In 2026, Quick Picks is introducing your 2026th man.
What?
Every single draft from here on out will have a sixth man in addition to the draft.
Oh shoot.
Oh, and I
Now
go first.
the boards are reopened, and here's the twist: the middle guy goes first
Oh.
in the 2026 man.
Oh.
So this
shoot.
week, Carson, you are now on the clock
Oh
for
shoot.
the 2026 man.
That's me, right?
Man, we were packing up the draft room. My staff was packing up the draft room. We were giving around high fives. So we felt good. But now we get one more
Players are
guy.
now, these bags are now sitting in their homes, standing up, sitting down, picking their phones back up. Now they're eager. They want to know if they are going to be going in.
Shoot. All right. We're going controversial here. You know why? It's the 2026th man. We're going to start off swinging. And honestly, I don't know if these two are going to like it. We'll find out. There's one division. It's a real weak division. No one got drafted, right? I'm not loving it, okay? Cheetos division, it's not it, okay?
It's not good.
But there's one guy who only stands out in the Cheetos division because, frankly, he's not really a Cheeto. He's just kind of there. I'm taking with the first ever 2026 man. I'm taking Cheetos Puffs.
Get out of here,
The
dude.
best cheese puff to exist ever.
Dude.
I'm taking Cheetos Puffs.
Overrated.
Not overrated. They're delicious.
He's literally the Miami, Ohio of the draft.
Not even top three in his division.
And Miami, Ohio had an incredible playing performance and dominated a real team in SMU. For a crazy random 6th round pick that you didn't even know you were going to get, Cheetos Puffs is a great guy. Just like Miami, Ohio was entirely justified of being a low seed in March Madness. Cheetos Puffs, 100% valid for an extra 6th round. I'm happy with that.
Alex, you are now on the clock for the second ever 2026 man.
Oh boy. Alrighty. Well, I didn't really think about taking a 6, so you're gonna have to give me a minute. Honestly, the only thing I had in my mind was the Utz at the very end there. You know what? You know what the sixth man is really good for? He's your good put him in utility guy. And if there's any chip that has real good utility, it's Tostitos Scoops.
Oh, okay.
Give me Tostitos Scoops. He is the utility guy.
Honestly, very surprised that all three of us dipped into the Tostitos division today.
They're really good.
I love Tostitos. It's earned, honestly.
There was 3 chips that all three of us dipped into. 3 chip brands. Doritos, Lay's, and Tostitos was that third one. Give it a round of applause for Tostitos, guys. Underdog division coming in here, tying for every single pick. And now, for the final 2026 man, there are 2 guys I really want to go to. 2 guys, both from divisions already chosen from. I think I've been picking very bold flavors this entire time. I'm going to stick to that. And I'm going to take Cheetos jalapeno cheddar.
Oh, whoa.
What a chip. What a chip. I love this chip so much. It tastes so good. The flavors of it, the look of it, the bag, the branding, it's all amazing. And I love it so much.
Ooh,
Okay.
And a
that's
real
bold.
spicy on the field guy, too.
Wow. What a draft.
That was very interesting. I wish I took Lay's barbecue, but like otherwise it's not a big deal. And I'm not really happy with that pick either. It's like a 50-50 toss up.
I'm not gonna lie. Other than the fourth round, this is genuine. This is one of the best drafts we've done. Honestly, there's a lot of great players who got highlighted
Yeah,
here
but also
today.
the
I'm
fourth
very
round
happy.
happened, so
Hey, listen. I think my fourth round was just fine, but
I think mine was just fine, but apparently y'all disagree.
apparently we all disagree with. So it was a bad fourth round. Okay, but it's not our opinions that matter. It's you guys listening. Who do you think won the draft? We need to know. And
Let
who
us
would you
know
pick?
who won this draft in the comments. Let us know your own personal snubs and give us a recommendation to do next week on Quick Picks.
With that, though, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving into a new segment this year. See, last year, before the draft, we had a big project that I worked on, the draft files, right? This is how blank can win the draft, where I put out a short every day until the draft, breaking down what every team should do. I didn't want to do that this year. I did not want to make 32 shorts in 32 days, because that's low-key a lot of work. And I really wanted to focus on the players rather than the teams. And I also wanted to get Alex and Ian a little bit more involved. See, me, I am a pretty diehard college football watcher. These two, less so. So, I have set up a game that we will be playing every week until the draft. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Draft or No Draft. If you don't know how this works, it's basically deal or no deal. Alex and Ian will be able to pick a case, 1 through 6. From there, I will read them several stats about that draft prospect at a specific position without giving them the name. Each one of them can then choose to keep that one or risk it and pick a new one. And they're trying to draft the best prospect they can. Now, it's not the top 6. They are just 6 prospects. So, they could be a really high-end guy or a really low-end guy.
Do you
don't
have them
know.
ranked those?
I personally do have them ranked, yes.
Also, are they all just draft?
They are all draft prospects, yes. This year.
So they're not like
No.
Josh Allen's gonna appear.
They are
Okay,
all
cool.
people that I will be talking about for this year's draft. They have all declared for this year's draft. And this week
there
we
is
are starting off with quarterbacks.
Okay, and you have a number one. There is a best case.
There is a best case, there is a worst case. And then there are some in-betweens. Alex and Ian, I'll leave it up to you. Who goes first for quarterbacks?
Alex,
Alex, you have a choice. Pick a case 1 through 6.
5.
5. Ian, pick a case 1 through 6. That's not 5.
going 6 for Jay Cutler.
6 for Jay Cutler. Alex, your case is 6'4" and 220 pounds. He passed for 3,813 yards, 30 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. He had 43 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns, and his strength of schedule was 7th in the NCAA. Would you like to keep or pick a new case?
Oh shoot! Mendoza had 3,000 something, but I don't know if this is. I don't think his strength of schedule would be 7th.
He's trying to rig the system.
Keep in mind, for all you know, Mendoza could not be in here.
You're right.
I'm not saying he is or isn't. They are just 6 prospects. There's a clear number 1, clear number 6. And they can all be ranked pretty easily, actually.
Oh, this sucks. I'm terrible at this. Oh, can I stay until Ian hears his stats and then pick?
Nope.
Oh,
But if you keep it, I won't reveal who it is until the end. If you pass, I'll reveal who it is.
just pass. That's fine.
You'll pass? So you're
Yeah.
picking a new case.
Yes.
You passed on Carson Beck.
Oh, I'm chill passing on him.
All right, pick a case 1 through 4.
1.
1. All right, Ian, you picked case number 6. Your stats. This prospect is 6'2" and 210 pounds. He passed for 2,943 yards, 16 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. He rushed for 94 yards and 4 touchdowns. His strength of schedule was 57th. Will you keep or will you pass?
Yes.
You pass.
Case.
You passed on Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik.
Yep.
Pick a
Ooh,
case
okay.
2 through 4.
3.
3. All right, Alex.
3.
You picked case number 1, Alex, yes?
Yes.
This quarterback.
Who did Ian pass on? Sorry.
Ian passed on
Reveal
Cade.
two.
Ian passed on Cade Klubnik.
Okay.
I won't reveal on 2 and 4. I won't reveal 2 and 4 again because you could pass again if you want. So
Okay, go ahead.
Ian passed on Cade Klubnik. Alex, your new prospect. He is 6 foot. He is 207 pounds. He passed for 3,539 yards. He threw 29 touchdowns and 8 picks. He rushed for 862 yards and 10 touchdowns. And his strength of schedule was 28th.
I know this is a good pick. I know who this is.
I've heard the stat line before. I'm taking him.
You're taking him? Okay. We'll reveal who you picked at the end. Ian, you picked number 3?
Yep.
Your prospect is 6'5" and 225 pounds. He passed. He passed for 3,535 yards, 41 touchdowns, and 6 picks for 276 yards and 7 tutties, and his strength of schedule was 37th. Would you like to keep? All right, the reveal. Ian, we'll reveal the other 2 first. Prospect number 2 is 6'2", 208 pounds. He passed for 3,567 yards, 28 touchdowns, 5 picks, rushed for 93 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and his strength of schedule was 2nd. That is Ty Simpson out of Alabama.
Future Arizona Cardinal.
Oh, so I'm cooked.
Prospect number 4. Prospect number 4 is 6'2", 235 pounds. He passed for 1,919 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 9 picks. He rushed for 644 yards and 9 touchdowns, and his strength of schedule was 37. That was Kyron Drones out of Virginia Tech. You passed. Ian.
Oh my God, I know who Ian got.
Ian, you drafted Fernando Mendoza.
Yep,
I guessed because I knew his stat line.
Alex.
Oh my God.
Actually, Alex, do you have any guesses who you picked? Do you have any guesses who you drafted?
I picked someone terrible now that I'm thinking
Alex,
about it.
You have drafted Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia.
Oh, actually, that's fine. That's not that bad.
Dude, I was waiting to hear that 6'5", 225.
Yes, sir.
I heard that. I knew.
Bro knows. I feel like the 6 foot should have given it away because of the whole 5'11", 6 foot controversy. But
yeah,
anyways,
I knew I knew I heard that before. Who did I?
But you passed on Carson Beck. I actually would take Beck over Pavia, but
no, I'm not taking Carson Beck. I refuse.
I mean that's also valid.
So does that give me a 1-0 lead over Alex?
That does give you we'll call it a 1-0 lead over Alex. But thank you for joining us for Draft or No Draft. Next week we will go over wide receivers and running backs. We'll hit 2 because we don't have enough time to go each position. That's it for Draft or No Draft. Ian, we got one more segment to go through. You want to lead us through?
What could it be? It could be week 2 pick'ems. We pick in 4 games. We make our picks and we try to be the first one to have a perfect week. And for the record, there might be a reward this time for the first person to go 4-0. There might be a first 4-0 of the year award. Starting off first, we have the Defenders taking on the Columbus Aviators. Friday, April 3rd at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm just off rip. I'm taking the reigning champion Defenders over the brand new Aviators.
Yeah, taking the Defenders. A little worried about them last week, but I'm more worried about the Aviators, honestly. I think Defenders win.
Yeah, I'm taking the Defenders. They're going to make the playoffs.
Next up, we have the new Kings taking on the new Storm Saturday, April 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going out on a limb here. I'm putting my trust into the Orlando Storm.
Ooh, this one's interesting.
I'm picking the Kings.
I'm taking the Storm. I think the Storm, they're a little more complete right now. The Kings got a lot to work through. Taking the Storm.
Next up, we have the Stallions taking on the Gamblers, the last remaining USFL matchup. Sunday, April 5th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm immediately taking the Stallions. I was just about a Stallions bandwagon this year. It's if one thing I learned about spring football, put faith in the Stallions.
Absolutely.
There's one thing I learned from watching the USFL. There is one thing that got in the Stallions' way, and if every season without fail, they'd lose one game or two games, and every time one of those games was to the Gamblers, even though the Gamblers would be like 2-8. No matter what happens, they always drop at least one game to the Gamblers, and they are dropping this game to the Gamblers.
And now, lastly, we have our Footballers Anonymous Game of the Week. Carson's St. Louis Battlehawks taking on Ian's Dallas Renegades. Off-rip Austin Reed is now the spring football legend. He's going to go in there. He's going to dice that team up. Give me the Renegades.
Oh, absolutely, he's gonna dice that team up. The Renegades are gonna walk in there and show the Battlehawks.
Listen, the Renegades, it was the same thing last. By the way, this is going to be a great game. So excited for this game, especially considering that it's a Tuesday night game. Ooh.
Very interesting.
So dumb.
Yeah, real riveting.
Anyway, continue.
But listen, they were saying the same thing about the Defenders last week. They had a high-flying offense with Jordan Ta'amu at the helm, but the one thing they couldn't account for was reigning Defensive Player of the Year, PETA, and the 7 sacks from this St. Louis defense. I think the Renegades are going to be really good. In fact, this could be a championship preview. I'm taking the Battlehawks, though. That defense is so good.
Reminder though, this is not Maction. I don't know why we're playing this on a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's not Maction, but nothing can be as peak as Maction. But here we are.
Well, guys, I have great news. This is a week where it's only possible for one of us to go 4-0.
Okay.
So only one of us will do it, or none of us will do it.
I got a good feeling this week. Just saying.
They call me the genius.
No, they don't.
No, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen is one of us will go undefeated, except for the fact that we'll get the Aviators game wrong, so I know it won't matter anyway.
That's most often how it goes.
Yeah. Usually we all end up having like really good weeks, but it's ruined with like the first game. It's like that feeling like where you get your March Madness bracket wrong on the first game, and so you're like, oh well, okay, there goes that.
Yes,
It's
everything
just
else is right.
Yeah, but
I did this year. I picked Ohio State.
But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to bring us to the end of this episode, the first episode of Footballers Anonymous After Hours. We're really excited since next week we won't have to spend so much time introducing teams. We're going to be playing a bunch more football-related games on the podcast, talking about the UFL and all kinds of fun stuff. It's going to be a great time. So if you enjoyed, please make sure to follow us wherever you are. You can follow us on YouTube. Please, the subscribers mean the world. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Facebook, where, of course, we only post Minion memes. We will see you all next week after our Tuesday night action with the Battlehawks and Renegades. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, Footballer Nation, let's ride.